Hi guys and gals, today we're gonna target the core, more specifically we're gonna target the six-pack muscle or the rectus abdominis. The exercise of choice for today is gonna be ab crunch with a cable or a resistance band. Now the structure is gonna be the same for resistance band and a cable. The only difference is the resistance band is gonna get tougher in the last few degrees of range of motion, so the more you stretch it, it's gonna get tougher, but the cable, the resistance is gonna be consistent. So anyway, I do not like to do this exercise, to be honest with you, and there are a couple of reasons. First of all, I'm gonna do the exercise and then I'm gonna go through the reasons why I do not like this exercise, and then at last I'm gonna tell you what to do instead. So without further ado, now there are different variations for this exercise that I'm performing as well, but basically majority of the variations are like this. Now, there are a lot of mistakes that people make in this exercise as well. So, for example, people push their back too much down, they just bring their back straight up and down, and they just use a lot of hip flexors and so on and so on. But the main problems that I have with this exercise is that although it's using my core a little bit, but first of all, I'm in a pretty unstable position. So I'm on my knees and I'm coming forward, which the gravity is pulling me down, and whether I want it or not, I'm gonna push myself a little bit back. Now it doesn't matter whether I sit back and do the exercise or come all the way here and do the exercise, or even if I sit back and do the exercise, still I'm gonna be a little bit out of balance. Now, of course, when you're training the core, you want to be a little bit unstable, so you challenge the core muscles a little bit more. But the thing is, being unstable and a little bit more challenged when you're, for example, doing a plank on a medicine ball, which I have a video of. I'm gonna put a link up in this video so you can watch and know what I exactly mean. That's another topic. When you need to always check that your body is in a coordinated and a stable place, that's another thing compared to an exercise which requires you to be out of balance and just cheat in order to perform the exercise. So for this exercise, it doesn't matter how much I try and how much strength I have, I just cannot keep my hip in this place and bring my chest forward. It's just not possible. I'm gonna fall down. And the only time that I can have a little bit more stability is when the weight or the band is really tough or has a high resistance. So whether I go heavy with the cable machine or I go with a thick band, that's the only time that I can lean on the band. But that's just not what I want. I want to be in control of my body. So if I just lean on the band and just let the band handle my weight instead of me handling the weight, that's just wrong. So that's the main problem that I have with this exercise. The second thing is I'm not getting a good stretch. So although the contraction is not that bad, but when I come up, I'm not getting a good extension. Even if I sit back and do the exercise, still it's not gonna be really a good stretch because it's gonna pull me back. So it's not gonna really open up my chest. That's the second thing. The third problem that I have with this exercise is that the range of motion is not at the best as well. So the contraction is good, but it's not the best. And the reason again is because the place that I'm doing the exercise, the position that my body has is just not the best possible way. So what can you do instead? So we're gonna perform the same thing, but instead of having the band or the cable from up, we bring it down. All the way on the ground, we lay down, and you can have your legs straight. You can also bring them up. So you grab it, the same thing. You come up, down, up, down, up, down. First of all, I am a lot more stable. I'm on the ground. I'm not gonna move. So I have the stability. If I want to make it a little bit more challenging and add a little bit instability in this exercise, I mean an instability that's controlled. So if I want to have that, I can just use a buso bar, which I'm gonna show you the variation of in a few seconds. Second of all, I had a great stretch, so it was bringing me all the way up, and because I was on the ground and I wasn't afraid of going back and forward and falling, because of that I was freer and I could bring the chest back, so I had a better stretch. And the third thing was I had a better contraction as well. The reason was because I was in control of my leg. So as I was coming down, I could play with my leg as well. Just bringing the leg up 1 centimeter is gonna help you contract the rectus abdominis a lot more. And I'm not gonna go through the details, but basically when you go to the posterior tilt of the pelvis, you're gonna use the rectus abdominis. And also when you flex the spine from the chest or the thoracic flexion, you're gonna use here as well. And when you're doing the exercise in this manner, so you're using them both, you're gonna have the best contraction. Now, if you want to have a better stretch and add a little bit of instability to the exercise as well, as mentioned, you can use a buso ball, and this is how you're gonna do it. So basically, you bring a buso ball, you throw it on the ground, you grab the band, you lay on the ball, and as you can see, I am getting a good stretch. And all I need to do is just contract, again stretch, contract, again stretch. But the main reason that we use a buso ball is to have a better stretch rather than the contraction. So if you want to have the contraction, just do it on a mat, on the ground. But if you want to have a better stretch, try using a buso ball.